All right, let's get into it. Anthropic has just dropped a massive update to its flagship AI model, and today we're going to unpack everything you need to know about Claude Opus 4.6. This is a big one.
So to really understand what Anthropic is trying to do here, you have to start with this one big question they seem to be asking themselves. What if AI felt less like, a tool you have to constantly guide and correct, and more like a real, capable collaborator? Someone you could actually trust with complex, important work.
Well, Anthropic thinks they've cracked it. The answer to that question, it's their latest model. Meet Claude Opus 4.6. Okay, so with any new model, the first thing we all want to know is, right, how much smarter is this thing? Well, Anthropic is claiming this is a huge leap in intelligence, and they've definitely brought the receipts with some seriously impressive performance stats. And look, they are not being shy about this at all. Their main claim, the big headline, is that Opus 4.6 is now the industry leader, period. Especially when it comes to those complex reasoning and work tasks that, professionals are doing every single day.
And here's the proof. Take a look at this chart. This is a benchmark called GDP-Val, and it's designed to measure how well an AI handles real-world knowledge work. Think finance, law, that kind of stuff. Using the ELO rating system, like they use for ranking chess players, Opus 4.6 shows a staggering 190-point jump over its own predecessor. But here's the kicker. It's also got a 144-point lead over its main rival, GPT 5.2. That is a commanding lead, no two ways about it.
And this isn't just a one-trick pony. Its skills are incredibly broad. We're seeing Opus 4.6 ranked #1 across a bunch of really different, really tough benchmarks. We're talking agent-to-coding. That's where the AI literally writes and debugs its own code, all the way to complex multidisciplinary reasoning, and even just finding those hard-to-get pieces of info online. It's dominating across the board.
Okay, now let's talk about something I think is a huge deal. Memory. You know how a lot of AI models kind of suffer from what's called context rot? Their performance just gets worse and worse the longer a task goes on. Well, Opus 4.6 tackles this problem head-on. It's got a massive 1 million token context window, and that's all about maintaining peak performance, even when you throw incredibly long and complex jobs at it.
And the results of this new memory? They are just staggering. Check this out. On the needle in a haystack test, which is exactly what it sounds like, can it find one tiny fact in a mountain of text? Opus 4.6 scored an incredible 76%. Now, to really appreciate that, a previous model scored just 18.5%. That isn't just an improvement, that's a whole different ballgame. So that's the raw intelligence, the benchmarks. But what does all that actually mean for us in the real world? How does this translate into actual superpowers we can use? Let's take a look at what this new intelligence really changes for the user. And I think this quote from one of the early partners over at Notion just hits the nail on the head. It perfectly captures what Anthropic is going for. It's not about just building a better tool, it's about changing the entire relationship we have with AI, moving it towards real, genuine collaboration. One of the coolest new features that enables this is something they're calling agent teams. Now think about this. Instead of a single AI working on a problem step by step, you can now have a whole team of agents working on different parts of the problem at the same time in parallel. And they coordinate with each other completely on their own to get to a solution way, way faster. So this advanced agentic thinking, it basically works in 4 key stages. First, the model plans everything out, breaking a big task into smaller pieces. Then it gets to work, executing tools and sub-agents all at once. And here's the smart part. It can identify any roadblocks with real precision. And then finally, it pulls everything together into one polished final output. And for all you developers out there, Anthropic has rolled out a whole new suite of controls on the API. You've got adaptive thinking, where the model itself decides when it needs to think harder. You get effort controls to perfectly balance performance and cost, plus new features like context compaction to handle even those super long-running tasks. It's a lot more control. But hey, these upgrades aren't just for coders. And this might be the most important part for many of us. The everyday work tools you're already using are about to get a whole lot smarter. Let's get specific. Claude in Excel is getting a huge upgrade. It can now handle much harder multi-step analysis and even structure all that messy data without you holding its hand. And get this, in a preview, there's Claude in PowerPoint. It can generate an entire presentation deck from just a simple description, and it'll even match your company's branding. The fonts, the colors, the whole shebang.
All right, of course, whenever we see a huge leap in AI power like this, the big question of safety comes up, and it's a crucial one. Anthropic is really tackling this head-on, making the case that they're advancing all this intelligence responsibly.
And their core message on this couldn't be clearer. They're saying these major gains in intelligence have not come at the cost of safety.
And they're backing this up with some serious testing. They've found that the model is just as well aligned as its predecessor, and it shows really low rates of bad behavior, like deception. What's really interesting is that it's also less likely to refuse harmless requests than previous models, so fewer of those annoying "I can't help with that" moments. And on top of all that, they've built new advanced probes specifically to detect potential misuse in really sensitive areas, like cybersecurity, where this model is obviously a lot more capable now.
Okay, so you've seen the performance, you've seen the new features. The next question is obvious, right? How can I get my hands on it?
And the best part is, you can, right now. Opus 4.6 is available today for everyone on the Claude.ai website. It's ready for developers through the API, and it's also up on all the major cloud platforms. So for all you devs looking to plug this in immediately, here's the magic string you'll need for your API calls. It's just Claude Opus 4.6. And this might just be one of the biggest pieces of news here: the price. Yep, despite all these insane upgrades in smarts and capability, the cost to use Opus 4.6 is staying exactly the same as the last version. So it's pretty clear. A new class of AI isn't just coming soon, it's here, right now. And it promises to be less of a tool and more of a true collaborator. So that really leaves us with just one final exciting question. What are you going to build with it? Thanks for tuning in.